Hello, I'm ZOE HOWE and I'm a music writer. I live in Southend and I have written a book about Lee Brilleaux, rock and roll gentleman, the adventures of Dr. Feelgood's iconic frontman. It's a very Southend story, a very canvy story. So it's just out. It came out this month. The way I wanted to present Lee in this book was not just as the sort of, I feel, unsung rock and roll hero that he is, but also all these other facets of his character that are so compelling that you wouldn't necessarily kind of factor in if you just saw him on stage and saw him as this quite ferocious character, very thrilling and exciting and quite terrifying on stage. Off stage he was a real gentleman, hence the title. That's what everybody always says. He was such a gent. He loved books and films and cooking, and he had all these outside interests that he was very passionate about. It was a story that kind of needed to be written, and he was such a special character and such a special person to so many people in so many ways, that if you don't kind of capture that in a book or in a film, as we've seen in All City Confidential, those stories get lost, and I think it's important to retain them and keep them and nurture them and hand them on to the next generation who can be just as inspired by them. Research is always like the biggest part of the process, really, of writing the book. I spoke to as many people as I could. So yes, former band members, current band members, because of course the Feelgoods are still going strong in their sort of current incarnation, and also former roadies, producers, friends, family, and that's one of the great things about doing this book is, and also being based here, is that there are so many people who are still around and still, have wonderful memories to share. I think Dr. Feelgood is still very much considered, and rightly so, as the jewel in the South Essex rock and roll crown. And I think there are so many great bands in Southend. There's a real kind of seam of, a kind of rich heritage of rock and roll history in Southend and Canvey and the sort of surrounding areas. And that goes back decades, of course, and it will continue for decades to come. There's something kind of, in the Southend. I don't know what it is. It's something in the soil or the water, maybe, I don't know. But rock and roll will always be very, very strong here and important to the people who live here. And I know that many of the younger artists who are playing in groups today in Southend very much look to the Feelgoods. Maybe not in terms of the music they played, like the R&B, and they might not be playing R&B, but it's the spirit and the sound and the attitude and the strength, I suppose, of the Feelgoods sort of collective spirit. I think that continues to live on and inspire people, and it's wonderful to see.